Welcome everyone back to Nerd TV. This time we're coming at you live from the simulated Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt. It's Bristol Dirt, baby. And we're here watching the FTSR boys in the Martin Sports Truck Series. They're going to tackle 125 laps around this half-mile dirt mega little short track oval, whatever you want to call it. It's complete chaos out here, at least watching practice anyways. And so we're going to bring you all the action live from start to finish. Weather doesn't really matter. We usually notate the track weather, but it's dirt. It's got moisture. It's only 80 degrees out in the skies. It's not a variable out here tonight, and there's really no wind, so just all driver skill, nothing to do with the weather. To my outside tonight, as always, minus on Monday, Mr. Jason Rockefeller. How's it doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm here. I got the Menards hat on. It was a bad hair day out here. I'm ready to go, man. I ran myself some Bristol dirt just really late last night at around 1 o'clock in the morning. So these guys are going to have an absolute handful tonight. I'm ready to see these truckers take on Bristol dirt because it's going to be a fun one tonight. Slip and slide, multi-grooves, lanes taken away, everything. It's going to be a pure classic. It's Bristol baby type race with a hint of dirt added to it.
Absolutely. And also to his right, my producer, I always forget to mention him in the beginning, but this guy to the right of Jason is going to bring all the camera action, his 190-mile drone footage, whatever he's got thrown at you tonight. That's going to be Mr. Dustin Loxton. How you doing over there?
Hey, it's I had to make an appearance. It's Bristol for one, and two, it's Bristol dirt. Jason, you said it best. I mean, it's going to be a wild show. It really is. You're going to see multi-lanes. You're going to see 2-3 wide. You're going to see him throw it in the corner. You're going to see slider lines. I mean, you're going to see lead changes going into the corner, coming out of the corner. It's going to be an awesome show.
It really will, and if you guys are racing out there on the official racing and dirt, you know the high line is definitely, it prevails on this track late in the run, but you won't be wall riding. You won't catch these guys wall riding. Admins are looking closely at that, so you got to use your skill and not the outside wall to maintain your speed. And these guys like asphalt. Only a couple of these guys really know dirt, so the wall is your best friend if you can use it, but they said no. So you know, we're going to see a lot of different racing styles out here. You're probably not going to see some of the usual names that we're used to seeing. Ryan Chapman, he's leading the thing by 26 points. We don't know what he looks like on dirt. This will be our first time to really see if he can, you know, maintain great pace here in the Truck Series.
Yeah, and a lot of guys too. You know, they're out here just really logging laps. I did the same thing last night. I was just out here logging laps. I finished 7th. Only a few guys were entered, obviously, because this doesn't count for your SR or I rating towards ovals. It counts for your dirt ovals. So that's why a lot of guys aren't really taking the advantage to run. But if you're some of these guys, you might have been running some of the open stuff for C-Fix, some of the open stuff for the C-Class, or some of the fixed stuff. I ran the fixed stuff. I can tell you it's going to be a handful tonight. A lot of these guys you talked about, Jeremy, they're primarily asphalt, pavement, concrete type guys. And some of these guys, they like dirt. And one guy, though, you know, I'm seeing a few different guys, you know, as we ride on board with Richie Coy. Richie's currently 4th up on the board, short track guy. Struggled back on Monday night at Richmond in the Cup Series. He's looking to try to have himself a good run here tonight in the Martin Sports Truck Series. Stephen Allen, the number 14, he's doing good. Tyler Brown, top of the board right now by a good-sized margin. Not enough to really count him as the favorite. And then Tony Solari, Monday night's winner. There's going to be a lot of guys who you're going to see who you didn't see within these last few weeks up at the front. And then you're going to see some of the guys who you usually see up at the front probably are going to be in the back.
Yeah, and one notable mention to see Sylvain Jolly. He's trying to make a start here tonight. This is his first appearance in 2023. If you're used to watching us do this in 2022 with the FTSR boys, Sylvain Jolly was part of the Truck Series last season, so he's making his season debut tonight. A couple other mentions as well. 2 penalties provided at Texas last week. So Seth Vaughn, if he does show up, he will be starting at the end of the longest line. Also joining him, who is currently on track, is number 18, Mr. Joseph McKinney. So 2 EOL penalties issued last week, and so that might change little things up for them starting this race tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you want to try to have a good run here tonight, you're going to have to keep it off the wall. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a track where aero isn't really going to play a huge factor, but you still want to keep it out of the wall because the second you slam that wall, Jeremy, it is hard, and I mean super hard to get out of it. And I mean, you're almost like glued to it in a sense. So it's going to be super hard for these guys to try to stay off the wall tonight, especially with the slide jobs like Dustin had talked about. You want to really keep the tires obviously on the dirt, not up into the wall, up into the catch fence and the grandstand. So those guys who are going to have to start at the back, they're going to have to make their way up quick because it is hard to pass unless you are a dirt guy.
Yeah, 100%. And we're going to actually have Dustin kick it over to Tony Solari, Tyler Brown, who won practice. We usually ride along with the first place truck in practice, but he's not on track right now. So we're going to bring the action from Mr. Solari, who did finish second here last year. The winner last year here was Nicholas Casey. He is not a part of the season for 2023A in FTSR. So right now, Tony Solari is the best finisher from last year's race here. He knows dirt. He knows road courses. This is more of a specialty for his team. So let's see what he does out here.
Yeah, and the thing is I mean, that's what Tony Solari is, Jeremy. We talked about it with Fury Motorsports. He's their dirt guy. I mean, when it comes to dirt setups, I mean, that's what, Richie Coy and Brody Hanna, they come to Tony for guidance on that one there, just like Tony has been going to them for guidance on the, the oval side. And he credited them on Monday for, that victory as well, helping him on that. So, I mean, it's a total team effort there. I mean, but this man here that we're watching right now, he knows dirt.
Yeah, he definitely knows dirt.
Yeah, 100%. As he comes to the line for his qualifying time, runs a 19.9. Richie Coy out of nowhere with a 19.5 here, currently running P1 here on the boards. He said he might be okay, but right now that lap time's showing that he knows his stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm looking right now, and Tyler Brown is currently taking his lap. I expect him to be at the top, just like he was here in practice. We're going to have to see where he ends up. And currently second on the board, only off by about 0.05 of a second. We're going to have to see how he does on his second lap. That's the thing. You just got to rip it down to the bottom. Let the car kind of gradually and naturally just kind of, get loose whenever it wants it. It's all about throttle control tonight. Then you want to try to get the throttle down as hard as you can. And Tyler Brown still second up on the board. So Richie Coy actually is going to be able to maintain that pole position for the time being. I see a few guys right now. Randy Henshaw in the second. He's currently taking a lap. Justin Dilt, Alan Duranko. So a few guys still up right now. But it's going to be hard to knock off Richie Coy with that flyover lap he had.
Riding on board with Alan Duranko here. He's taking his lap, runs a 20.0 to open it up, and he makes wall contact through turns 1 and 2, so that'll abort lap number 2. So he's going to run solidly. It looks like in 8th place at the moment as we just have a handful of people left, not taking any time. TJ Bartel currently on track. That number 1 running pretty strong this year. Let's see what he can do. He's coming up a little slow through 1 and 2, getting his... Can't really warm up your tires here on dirt, but he's going to give it his best here, coming through 3 and 4 for his opening lap. And, well, he's all over the place there, Jason.
Yeah, you can just see some of these guys are not really designed to run dirt per se. I mean, you can just see how much TJ Bartel is struggling. Look at how loose he is. It's like he doesn't know exactly how to maintain that throttle. He's just really shaking the wheel back and forth. And this is coming from a guy who was running very, very well in Monday night's Cup Series race, Jeremy. And here he is right now really struggling. Currently, that last time around, 21.31 seconds. So pretty much 2 seconds slower than Richie Coy and TJ Bartel in the number 1 machine. He's currently 19th on the board. So only a few guys to go, and then we're going to rack them up, and we're going to go slinging some mud and dirt here at Bristol. I'm really excited to see this show, Jeremy.
Yeah, we got a minute left. Mr. Dustin, what kind of work are you going to be putting in tonight for us in those camera angles?
Well, I expect that there's probably going to be a lot of side-by-side racing. We're going to try to get as much action as what we possibly can on these cameras, try to get some onboards, really get people in the feel of what it takes to fling these trucks around here side by side. Like I said, these guys always put on a good show, and they always keep me busy. I wouldn't have it any other way.
100%. You are the man to do so, bringing all the camera angles we see every time we come live here on Nerd TV for any league. But 21 seconds left. I see nobody else really on track, I think, other than, was that one truck there, the 32? Last one out here to potentially take a time as he's coming through turns 3 and 4 here. Not looking comfortable as well. Barely making the line with 7 seconds left in the session. Going to end out with a 21.604, and that'll be your last truck to post time. That's going to put him P21. And that is the end of qualifying. So it is time to remove our faces off your screen and get down and dirty here at Bristol. We're going to give you the starting lineup for tonight's Bristol 125 here in the Mark Sports Truck Series. Mr. Richie Coy is going to take home P1. Tyler Brown's going to start on his outside in second. Brody Hanna in third. Stephen Hollingsworth in fourth. Lane Allen fifth. Ryan Chapman's going to start in sixth, see if he can hold that spot there to maintain his point lead. Tony Solari, fastest truck last year, will be in seventh. Alan Duranco, eighth. Colton Gum in ninth. And rounding out the top 10, the 55, Jeff Brayton.
Yeah, and then to round out your top 20, you have Sullivan Jolly there, the number 08 machine. Nick Goebel in the 25. 13th is Cody McKinney. 14th is Tommy Schaefer. 15th, Bobby Terrell. 16th, Joey McKinney. 17th, Sherwood Williford. 18th, Kyle Milliken. 19th, TJ Bartell. And 20th in the number 69 machine is Steve Angie.
21st, we're going to have Randy Henshaw. 22nd, Maxwell Solsch. 23rd, JP Burns. 24th will be Rick Webb. 25th, Stephen Loomis. 26th, James Torrey. 27th, Justin Diltz. 28th, Michael Blackner. 29th, Brandon Elder. And the 30th place truck, and the last one in the field, Mr. Joshua O'Connor. And Sam Squatch Sally, I see you. Me and Jason had a lot of fun during one of our commercial breaks, and we came back, and I guess I kept my accent on accident. So if you like more of my Australian accent, mate, we can provide it for you.
Always a character, Jeremy.
I try to be, man. I try to be. Couple new rules, too, out here tonight. 3 pit box rule. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, essentially, if your pit stall is where it's at, you can use up the 3 spots before and the 3 stalls afterwards to enter your pit stall. But if you exit and touch the 4th box, or if you come in and enter touching the 4th box and you're caught, you will be receiving a penalty up to admin discretion. Don't know exactly what that rule looks like at the moment, but so that's something to maybe potentially watch out for. And then last week, if you caught the Texas race, there was a caution, like literally a half a lap before stage end, and they had to do a quick little dash to the finish. If that incident does happen again, these guys will just extend the caution to end the stage, so there's no little quick sprint there. So just a couple of little rule notations. And like I said earlier, Joseph McKinney is going to be dropping to the rear. So even though he did not qualify, or he qualified in 16th, but he should be starting at the tail end of the field when this thing goes green.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to make up as many spots as he can. Obviously, some guys, they're good on dirt. Obviously, some guys aren't. So hopefully, he could try to really make his way back up through the field in a hurry, pick up as many spots as he can. I mean, this is 125 laps, and I'll tell you what, man, I ran 90 laps in that fixed race last night at 1:15 in the morning, or 1:45, whatever it was. And I will tell you that I was genuinely sweating at the end of that. Obviously, it was my first race back on iRacing in months. I only had a few laps of practice, but I went out there, I ran some laps, and man, this truck is a handful. And it's so agonizingly slow to race 90 laps here. So these guys are going to have 125 laps to sling some dirt, pick up some track position, and show these virtual sim racing fans and fans over here on Nerd TV a good time.
And here we go. You see the track is in 0% state. They reset it here for the green flag, and here we go. 125 laps in the Mark Sports Truck Series as they barrel off into turn number 1. Who's going to have speed early? Who's going to cause some faults early? We're about to find out here. I would imagine here in a few short laps. The 27, Ryan Chapman, already up a couple spots here. Looks like he's going to be sitting in 4th, coming to the line this time. 3 wide right behind him with the number 2 of Duranco, 23 of Brody Hanna, and the 14 of Lane Allen. And caution number 1 on lap number 2, already presented by Roasted Jim's Coffee, coming off the exit of turn number 4. And Jason, these guys piled them up. It looks like Sherwood Williford and TJ Bartell to start this thing off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man, because Sherwood's always a very, very good driver. We'll have to take a look and see what happened here. Looks like heading into 3 and 4, it just gets a little too high. 69 starts coming down. Unfortunately, gets plowed into by the number 1 of TJ Bartell. The number 99's also involved. That was JP Burns. So an unfortunate break for that number 33, Kevin Harvick, Chevy Rock and Roll, Looney Tunes, Chevy Silverado throwback. Unfortunate circumstances for some guys so early on, but Jeremy, this is the kind of thing that we might see a lot tonight. Hopefully we don't see a lot of cautions, but like we talked about, some of these guys good on dirt, some of these guys aren't, and unfortunately just making mistakes earlier on there.
Yeah, it's dirt racing, and like I said, these guys are mainly oval, or asphalt. So looked like the 69 Steve Angie was coming down the track just a little bit to make good corner exit. 33 of Williford overshot the entrance and slid up through the center of the corner, and those guys just could not find the same real estate. You cannot do that. Physics in any life, any multiverse that you're in will not allow that. So. They made contact to spun out TJ Bartell, innocent victim, and he plowed the water barrels there at the wall entrance of pit road. So hopefully he's able to get that thing repaired. Not looking good early on, but 3 trucks involved on that incident on technically lap number 2 as they just crossed the line for that. But Tyler Brown's going to resume this thing in first, and Stephen Hollingsworth second. So a complete different front row here.
Yeah, already some guys, though, making some headway towards the front. You have Joshua O'Connor Sr. +8 from where he started. Michael Blackner up 8 spots. Steve Loomis +6. A few other guys dropping positions. Obviously, Sherwood Williford -10 currently up on the board. But I expect Tyler Brown to try to get a really strong start like he did on that initial start. And don't count out Richie Coy. I think if this race does get green, Richie knows how to kind of maintain his line and really stick to it. I think he has the opportunity to try to catch Tyler Brown or Stephen Hollingsworth and actually make a pass because, like I had said, he's very good at holding his line, knows how to be consistent. Richie Coy definitely going to be a man on a mission here towards the front.
Yeah, I'll probably see that here in a lap and a half. And cautions are going to happen here. It's just nature of the beast. We already see it on lap 2. And last year overall, this was a pretty good race. But there was a lot of new faces out here that we have not seen on dirt yet. So a lot of unknowns here about these guys. We know our front runners, Richie Coy, Tony Solari, those guys are going to be pulling. Tyler Brown looks to have some early excellent speed. So does Ryan Chapman and Duranco. So a couple of these guys we know are fast. A couple of these guys we don't know. So we usually see some switching of positions. So I expect a lot more of the guys in the back to maybe be in the front long run. As this track changes, right now it has a ton of grip for a dirt standard, but 50, 60 laps in, this track gets really dark, almost dark as a roasted Jim's coffee ground, and it really just gets slick. It's like you're driving on ice, so you will see those guys fall to the back that can't handle their trucks late in the run. So there's a lot of variables here, and you will notice every single one of those tonight.
Yeah, these guys are going to be searching for every piece of dirt. Like dirt speck in the corners and stuff like that. I noticed too, you'll see this track get shaded very dark, just like you said, Jeremy. Obviously, gets rubber put down on it. There is grip there, but it gets really slick and starts to kind of lose it. So you're going to see a lot of these guys go from the bottom up to the top as the run progresses. But still multi-groove right now, and we're getting ready to go back green here on lap 8.
Pace truck down, green flag is out. Premature Patrick ready at the go, and green flag does wave now entering turn number 1. These guys are all side by side. The 0-0 Tyler Brown barely clears the 30 of Stephen Hollingsworth through the corner. Top 3 single file side by side with the teammates Richie Coy and Brody Hanna. They're now single file here. Races on back through 10.
Yeah, we're looking at the 55 machine now of Jeff Bratton there on the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to make some headway right now. Everybody just searching for grip, searching for what line their truck is going to run the best, what they feel most comfortable with. You're going to see some guys on the bottom, some guys in the middle, some guys on the top. Bratton right now on the inside in 11th, still working Colton Gum in that number 88 machine as they hit lap number 10.
Already a lap 10. Lap 40 is our stage breaks. We're already at 25% away through this short stint here before these guys come down to pit road and refuel. It's dirt. You don't need tires. You see one truck in the wall. Looks like the 88 of Colton Gum slightly grazes the wall, loses a spot on that transfer there. Pretty racy back here midway through the field. Front runners are still running strong, but everybody else is still searching for grip early on.
Yeah, everybody's searching for grip still, Jeremy. You're just seeing these guys. They can't even really get on the throttle fully. I mean, they are on the throttle fully. But you'll see here as we look at Colton Gum, that number 88 machine. Look at these guys. Their truck just wants to veer off to the right. And yes, they're trying to arc it into the corner. But down the straightaways, these guys, man, they're trying to just put down the power the best they can. Oh, we got some contact. 25 around in front of the field. The 28 involved. The 23 of Nick Goebel. Roasted Gems Coffee caution flag is out. Big pileup. Still more contact in the back. The number 69 machine involved. A couple other guys. Big one heading into turn 3 on lap number 13, Jeremy.
Nick Goebel enters turn 1 really sideways, tries to try to correct it, overdoes it, comes up the track and tail slaps the 23 of Brody Hanna, last week's winner at Texas. They kept it going straight, but then the 14 Lane Allen just came in and pile drove the back of Nick Goebel. It sends him off into a multi-truck wreck. Looked like 3 or 4 initially. 88 Colton Gum. It looks like the number 4 Bobby Terrell. And you said as they kind of get it going, those trucks are still piled up at the bottom. And so 23 comes up, hits the 69 of Steve Angie, and it looks like one other truck there involved. Looks like maybe the 54 there of Rick Webb. So about 7 trucks involved in this thing. TJ Bartell again, involved in both incidences here early on.
Yeah, you can just see here, Jeremy. Look at how hard it is for these guys to slow up. Because remember, there is no grip. There's the 54 hard into the number 69 machine. That was Rick Webb. The 69 machine, I believe, is Steve Angie. So it's so hard to get stopped, just like the actual concrete Bristol track. We've seen it before. We've seen Kevin Harvick lose a race while in the lead because these guys wreck. There's nowhere to go. Obviously, this track being so wide, but the thing is, compared to the concrete, obviously, this is dirt, baby. You don't have a lot of grip. You try to get on those brakes, you're practically sliding on ice. So you better be on the binders very, very quickly if there is a wreck in front of you, because it's going to be very, very hard to stop your truck and try to avoid a wreck here tonight if there is one in front of you.
Excellent camera work by Dustin to show the angle of Tommy Schaefer in that 29 making his way through that wreck. Also notated 91 Justin Diltz hit the bottom truck there, the number 1 TJ Bartell. So that ups the count to about 8 or 9 trucks involved in that one. So, I mean, we're 14 laps in. We already got the big one posted. Up to this point, hopefully nothing else happens of that nature. But it is Bristol. The trucks are everywhere. So if you wreck, that is very natural situation of just a crowded track. It does wash itself out eventually, but it's really tough to avoid a wreck here. I know there's no smoke, but it's just a parking lot, and so you have to get woed up. But with dirt, you can't slow up. You can do a little bit, but you eventually slide, and you just kind of pray and hopefully you don't hit anybody.
Yeah, and it's just going to be difficult all night for some of these guys to try to really get slowed up and avoid wrecks if there is one in front of you. And heck, it's even hard, Jeremy, when there's a guy up on the outside wall and you're following him in the corner, or even if he tries to bounce off the wall and get it safe because he's still gathering it up, and then you got to try to avoid him, but you really can't, because if you get on the brakes, you're just going to get loose and spin out, or you're going to lose all that momentum and try to get back on the throttle, and you just can't because of how slick the racetrack is. So these drivers are really being tested tonight with their skill, and so far up at the front, Tyler Brown, Stephen Hollingsworth, Richie Coy, Ryan Chapman, Alan Duranco, top 5. Michael Blackner and Joshua O'Connor Sr., 16th and 18th. They're up 12 from where they started so far. Hopefully they can try to get towards the front of the field here if they can get a long green flag run.
Pace truck is down. The first 2 trucks are going to start in the same spots as they did last restart here. Green flag is out. The 00 Tyler Brown gets a decent start, able to clear the 30 of Stephen Hollingsworth early as they exit turn 1 into turn 2. Clean all the way through the field. Looks like almost a little bit of 3-wide action there as well. Sorry to cut you off. I was trying to see what exactly was going on mid-pack. And we've got some contact here. It looks like with Tommy Shea from the 29, if I'm not, I'm sorry about that. A little bit further on through the field. Looks like they get it straightened out, though. No harm, no foul. I want to quickly jump to the chats, too, if I could. Diane Chapman, of course, always rooting on for Ryan Chapman, saying, go, Ryan, go. And then, Jason, you got Tommy Daughtry cheering for you, saying, Jason Rockefeller, W at announcing.
Yeah, thank you. That's my buddy Tommy Daughtry. Great guy. Been one of my best friends since kindergarten, so I appreciate all my friends and family that always watch us and show the work that Dustin could put on the screen and the work that we could do together up at the booth, and show them what sim racing is all about. Because it's not just turning left, guys. You know, this takes a lot of skill, you know, and some of these guys compete every year to try to go chase $300,000 in an eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. And I mean, if you're Tyler Brown, you could probably compete on a on a Tuesday night here at Bristol Dirt. He just ran an 18.86 that last time around. Still digging. Look at him. He's cranking that wheel almost 360 degrees, man. I tell you what, Jeremy, this kid's probably not even really laying off that much. He's got to be really laying off into the corner barely and then mashing the gas through the center, because that's really what it takes to really get around here if you want to carry the momentum off the corner.
And you're seeing that wheel work through the corner, and that is actually a really clean lap. Not really working the wheel as much as these other guys. That is very smooth, very consistent each and every corner. You can almost see identical wheel movement through each corner, allowing him to just carry so much speed on exit 2. He's not really hesitating. He's run the same exact groove every single corner. He's just putting on a clinic over here, already 1.5 seconds over second place Stephen Hollingsworth, over almost 2 seconds now over the 19 of Richie Coy. Top 5, top 6 really starting to space out here, Jason, as we're starting to see, you know, some tameness in the field. Maybe we can get this thing green flag all the way to the stage in.
Yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't really count on it per se. And hey, don't count out anybody throughout this entire field. Don't think that Tyler Brown is going to run away with this. A lot of these guys are still posting their fastest laps, learning this track. Once they get more comfortable, they're going to be more competitive. Yes, Tyler is by far, from what we've seen these first 26 laps, the truck to beat. But by saying that, we've seen it time and time again here, Jeremy, even on concrete Bristol. And it happens here at regular Bristol. You've seen drivers where they're going to get involved in a wreck, and the next thing you know, the leader's coming by right behind them, and then boom, slam, crash. They're out of this thing. That could very well happen to Tyler Brown. I hope it doesn't. I tend to have the commentator's curse, though, but it is a very high possibility, and like we talked about earlier too, Jeremy, very hard to get your truck stopped through the center of the corner and down the straightaways because we're on dirt.
It certainly is. And I want to go back to Tommy's comment. I think I called his name Daughtry. I just had that in my mind, so I know it was Doherty as you corrected me there. So I'm glad you corrected me. I noticed it late, and I'm like, well, I butchered it, but it's too late. It's already on live TV here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, wherever you're watching us live. So my apologies there. But going back to the field, 2.5 second now lead for Tyler Brown over Stephen Hollingsworth. Really just still increasing that gap each and every lap. I think I'm going to have to agree with you. He can show up on a Tuesday night and show up with the Coca-Cola boys and get the job done. Couple notables too. Bobby Terrell, I think he finished 4th last year here on the dirt race. He's currently running 11th, about midfield with his new team for the season over at the same team as Richie Coy over at, going a blank on their name, Fury Motorsports. Thank you, Dustin. Always my Mary like McReynolds there in the microphone, but they've already got a lot of people lapped down. 18th on back is at least 1 lap down, and James Torrey and Colton Gum, those guys have already exited their trucks and are done for the night, so a couple early exits there. We've got a little 3-wide action here with the 25 right in the middle here.
Yeah, interesting to see right there, the number 25 machine. And also there's the 42 of Milliken. He's trying to work around those guys. You see the 32 as well behind him. That's Randy Henshaw there, just trying to get some laps in. 4 makes a little bit of contact there. Bobby Terrell, I believe he slapped the wall off the corner. Everybody jockeying for position now down into turns 3 and 4. Kyle Milliken all the way up to the top side of the racetrack. He's trying to make a move right now on, I believe, that is the number 25 machine. That is Nick Goebel. So all these guys continuing to go multiple laps down. But Jeremy, that's not very uncommon here. You know, that's how the Bristol Dirt Race is usually when it comes to these iRacing events. These guys just trying to get some knowledge. I mean, look at Tyler Brown right now. Currently just ripping that bottom side, ripping every line that he can, slinging the dirt up onto the rear of his truck, obviously. He's getting past all these guys, and a lot of these guys right now, they're just trying to fight and hopefully see Tyler Brown possibly maybe choke up, or, you know, as we actually do have a yellow right there. I guess commentator's curse happens. Roasted Gems Coffee caution flag is out for, I believe, the 3rd time of the night here on lap 36.
Third time of the night, you are correct there. Trying to figure, I did not actually catch that one in particular. We're going to go back a lap and figure what happened out here. We're 7 laps shy of the stage, so we will go back to green flag before stage end. Probably have about a 3 or 2 lap shootout. I think, yeah, the 69, Steve Angie coming through, or entering turn 3. He got a little help by the 28. Just plows him into the square into the rear end of his truck, sends him off into the corner, spins him out, and that's going to bring out your third caution tonight.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at the Nerd TV replay. Yep, unfortunate. Little too much mustard, just goes around, does a full 360, keeps it going in that number 69 machine. Steve Angie, good job of saving, but so far tonight, he has not had the night that he's wanted, obviously, but still on the lead lap, currently inside the top 20. Hopefully he'll be able to make up some spots. That damage isn't really going to play too much of a factor because we all are on dirt. But you just see right there, just a little too much mustard there on the bottom. Got on the throttle. Little too early heading into the center. Probably just kicked it up to full throttle instead of partially going onto it and gradually getting back to a full throttle off turn number 2, I believe it was right there.
Yeah, he really was assisted by Cody McKinney. I had to go back and make sure it was 28. Cody McKinney just, I don't know what that, it looks like the 69 Steve Angie was really slow entering the corner, and 28 did not recognize that situation. And you already talked about it twice now. You just really can't get slowed up here. So unfortunate there, but we were going to have a nice little short run stint to the stage end, probably 2 or 3 laps. So I expect a lot of chaos here to get to the stage end and maximize your points before you set off for the other 70 laps plus here to end this race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we talked about 125 laps. It feels like an eternity. I like I said, I ran that 90-lap fixed race the other night at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and man, I was sweating by the end of it. It really works your arms. You got to be on the binders or hurts your foot. Both feet, depending on if you run 2 foot or 1 foot. I mean, this track is just very, very grueling, especially for cars that don't really have a lot of horsepower for a car that's meant to be on dirt. Obviously, these are cars that are meant to run on asphalt, Jeremy. We're not running 410 wing sprint cars. We're not racing big block modifieds. We're not racing super late models. These guys don't have a lot of horsepower, so they're really having to work it. But when they do get on the throttle, it feels like they have so much horsepower, but the truck doesn't really want to grip it. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of these guys are going to be able to master the dirt here tonight. So far, though, Tyler Brown doing a very, very good job. But Richie Coy currently up to the 2nd spot, trying to chase down Tyler Brown. Hopefully he can do that here on this restart.
And I do believe we just got word from race control that they have extended the caution. I know I mentioned during the pre-race that it would only be a caution or to end the stage if it was like on the same lap. But at the moment, we are currently on lap 40, and then they have extended the caution. So I do believe, Jason, this will be the end of stage 1 out of stage 2. So that's going to put Tyler Brown 10 points up. And the points tonight, Richie Coy needed those points to catch Ryan Chapman, who's directly behind him now. So 9 points out to Richie, 8 points out to Ryan Chapman, and then so to the top 10, as the top 10 does get rewarded for finishing in their spots during the stage. But congratulations to Tyler on that one. But this will be stage end, I do believe, and we're going to get set for stage 2.
Yeah, we'll have to see here what Tyler Brown's able to do here in the 2nd stage. Been so strong here tonight, but hopefully he'll be able to maintain that lead and pick himself up a Martin Sports Truck Series victory here tonight from Bristol Dirt, Jeremy.
And we're going to have a short commercial break here for you guys. Go picture-in-picture mode real fast, and we'll be back right before the green flag. Stay tuned. Real quick commercial break, but we are here. We're about to go back to green flag action as Mr. Tyler Brown, the 00, is going to lead us off for stage 2 to end this race. 125 laps to make the race end. We are currently going to be restarting on lap 43. Green flag is out. These guys are underway. Little tail happy here, trying to get the tires to stick. Coming through turns 1 and 2. Looks like we're already 3 wide with Tony Solari in the middle, Delaranco on the top, and Lane Allen here on the bottom. Looks like they're able to still hold 3 wide. Looks like Tony Solari will fall back to the top side right behind Delaranco to sort that out. Still 2 by 2 all the way through the field.
Yeah, everybody's still 2 by 2 trying to figure out which lane they can try to get up to or get down to try to make that run towards the front of the field. Obviously, Tony Solari still trying to do a great job here tonight, like he's been. Now Tommy Schaefer trying to put Steve Hollingsworth under the binders here and try to pass him as they work their way off turn number 4. And you saw the 14 right there. Stephen Allen got super loose through the corner. Everybody, and look at Tony Solari had to really check up there. 14 was coming down the racetrack, heading off turn number 2. What a heads-up driving move there by Tony Solari, Monday night's Richmond Cup Series winner. And he's still slamming that throttle down off the corner, trying to get past Stephen Allen here. This is for the 5th spot.
They're doing a great job here, maintaining the top 5, trying to get around, just no grip. The bottom of the track is starting to lose it. You're seeing Delaranco at the top, Tommy Shea from the 29. He's at the top. And you're starting to see grooves at the bottom and top here, Jason. Looking through the corner, you see a little bit of a lighter dirt color there in the center, but it gets really dark at the top, really dark at the bottom, so that shows you where the 2 preferred lanes are, which typically on dirt, that's exactly where you see it. The middle lane always is the last one to get worked in. You see the 14 lane Allen, he's working it in right now just behind the 27 here of Chapman. And Chapman's doing a great job. He is right on the back bumper of the Richie Coy Ford F-150s. You're taking a look at him now coming through turns 3 here. He's going to try to make the bottom pass happen. It's really hard to get it to stick down there, and you see that there's no progressive banking on the dirt, but dirt, as any dirt driver knows, the top side is preferred usually.
Well, I tell you what, Jeremy, while these two battle, look behind him in the rearview mirror. You see Alan Delaranco currently flying up on that top side. If he could just keep on getting the drives off that he needs to, he's really good on entry and in the center, but off the corner, he's just not exactly as smooth. The truck kind of swings out and then gets really straight very quickly. You see him right there, scrubs off a little bit of speed, but here he goes off too. Just kind of has to correct it a little bit, not making up the most ground that he wants to. Definitely sliding it in a little much, but he's really doing a great job. Probably the only one I've seen who's been close to the wall right there. A little bit of contact behind him between the 11 of Tony Solari and the number 14 of Stephen Allen, and also brings in Stephen Hollingsworth into the picture. And the 14 hits the wall off the corner. One truck up in front of them, up into the wall. I'm not too sure who it is. It's an orange and black truck. I believe it's the number 89, I believe, of Maxwell Solch. He just keeps on slamming the wall as everybody tries to avoid him. They're 3 wide for position here, though, off turn number 2.
This is where your dirt talent really has to kick into play. You practice for this moment, and some guys just can't handle it. And it looks like Solch is having a troublesome time getting through these corners. As you said, hitting the wall almost every single corner as this track just gets more and more slick. I'm really watching some of these guys that are really digging on the top. The cushion's kind of building up, so you can use the cushion to kick your truck back off the wall and get great launches off corner, exit, and even help your center and corner. But I'm using my speed reference point from that 00 Tyler Brown. He's not running the wall just yet. He's still running about mid-track, and he's carrying all that speed. So I still think the speed is going to be in the middle of the track, maybe at the very bottom if you can touch your left front wheel on the apron to get that truck to rotate a little bit more without using the throttle. That might be the way to go, but you know, Delaranco's doing a hell of a job keeping up at the very tip top of the track and not losing any momentum.
Yeah, we have a Rosa Gems caution right now. Going to be interesting to see what happened there. But yeah, Jeremy, to touch up on your note there, a lot of these guys, you talk about Tyler Brown really being the key point with speed. A lot of these guys, they're just trying to run lines like Tyler Brown, but everybody obviously running different lines. You see the number 89 of Solch, unfortunately, into the wall, gets tapped by the 59, makes contact with Sherwood Williford, hard contact. I believe that was down the front straightaway there. So big break for the number 89 after having such a heartbreaking last few laps, been in the wall constantly, and that might be the end of Maxwell Solch's night.
Yeah, he just came off the wall, hit and we just mentioned how he hit the wall so many times, and yeah, the 59 there, Joshua O'Connor just taps him in the rear, just could not get that thing woed up, and poor Sherwood Williford, he was already slow, right? He was just trying to let these guys go by on the top, and then he gets demolished, straight T-bone, and then flipped over the pit wall when he was trying to stay out of harm's way. So that's twice tonight. We saw TJ Bartell on lap 2 incident, just an innocent victim, and then here we go on lap 54, same incident with Sherwood Williford, just could not. He did everything right. He's just letting these guys go by, gave him about 5 truck lengths to the top, and then boom, he gets flipped over the wall. So it's just part of the dirt racing where there's a lot of unknowns with a lot of drivers, and nowhere on this track is safe. And we're seeing the Lucky Dog hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award presented by Martin Sports going to the number 25, that being Nick Goebel, who has also had a very eventful night this race tonight. But he will get his lap back, and that'll put him, I think, on the lead lap. If it does, it puts him 16th on the grid.
Yeah, Nick Goebel just trying to complete all the laps here tonight. You can just see how much that number 25 machine is really all torn up there. That Toyota Tundra TRD machine got right side damage. He's got the whole right rear lifted up. The only truck right now that looks to not really be all that damaged is Richie Coy. And also Tyler Brown, all the way back to 11th. I believe he's currently, or if not, I think he just pitted. Gonna have to check here. And Tyler Brown, yes, Tyler Brown did just pit. A few guys also pitted. Nick Goebel's finally in the pits. Bobby Terrell, Stephen Allen, Cody McKinney, Jeff Bratton, Tommy Schaefer, a few other guys too. But that's the thing here, you know, do you want fresh tires even though it's dirt? Or do you want to try to stay out there for track position? Because it's been super hard to pass tonight. But no doubt about it, I think Tyler Brown, Jeremy, is going to be able to climb his way through this field pretty quickly if he restarts 14th.
I was using my cameras and going back and looking at Tyler Brown's stop. He only took fuel. So that might be an interesting call. When you put the fuel into the truck, even though these guys, by not pitting on that caution, tell me they can just make it to the end, right? But he put fuel in his truck. So that's going to add more weight to the rear. Now, if that puts more pressure on the rear tire to not spin as much, maybe gives them some extra grip advantage through the center of the corner, maybe that's going to help them. Or maybe the weight's going to be too heavy and that truck is going to just keep sliding worse and worse through these corners where there's more weight. I don't know. I don't know what's the right call here. I'm not a dirt expert. It's gonna be fun to watch him go through the field though, because we know he's the fastest truck, right? Just every single lap, just pulls on. He was pulling and pulling and pulling on Stephen Hollingsworth, and so we're gonna see here as we go back to green flag action. He's gonna start back in 14th, but focusing on the race leader, Richie Coy, the 19. Doesn't have a good start, allows the 27 of Ryan Chapman to actually beat him to the line. So Ryan Chapman's going to be scored P1 here, coming through turns 3 and 4. Looks like they're single file through 3, but Alan Duranco and Stephen Hollingsworth, first guys side by side, battling out for the top 5.
Yeah, and Tyler Brown back there has got to be really careful getting around all these guys. Obviously restarted 14th. He's currently still in that 14th position, so he's going to have to really be careful with making his way up through this field. Hopefully none of these guys wreck in front of him, because he's going to have nowhere to go if they do. He's going to have to be very careful. Remember, still a lot of laps to go. He knows he's the fastest truck. Gets super loose right there. Almost made contact with the 55 of Jeff Bratton there off turn number 4. But like I said, Jeremy, Tyler Brown knows he's the fastest truck out here. He's just got to be patient. A lot of laps to go here at Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, he was 3 wide a lap and a half ago and got that sorted out. But yeah, there was a little congestion there off that corner exit of 2. Had to really woe it up and got extremely loose trying to do so. But now he's back to himself. But there is just no speed. When that high side is taken from you, you just have to just lift a lot more than if you're by yourself. And that's preventing him from making these fast lap times as he finally gets around the 55 of Brayton. Now he's looking at the 4 of Bobby Terrell. This is going to be for position 12, I do believe. As they're all kind of searching at the top of the track now. This is forcing Tyler to run the middle to bottom, which that's where he ran for the most part there as he was logging laps as your race leader. But now he doesn't have the corner exit, so it's really hurting his performance here. He got around the 4, so now he's in 12th. 5.5 back now of your race leader to the 27 of Ryan Chapman, who somehow, some way, every single time we talk about him, every single Wednesday, He doesn't start up at the front, but somehow makes his way to the front right now, halfway through this event. Find himself some P1 once again.
Yeah, he's doing a great job right now. Richie Coy, though, was a little bit faster by about 0.2 of a second, Jeremy, that last time around. So Richie Coy's still hanging in there. He's back by about 6.5 tenths right now. But like we were talking about with Tyler Brown, who's currently all the way back up to 10th now, I would not recommend him really going to the top if he has the opportunity, because you're seeing a lot of guys in front of him tank slapping the wall, getting into it in the center of the corner, really stalling out, and then that really opens up the door for him to run to the back of him, get some damage. He currently moves up to the 9th spot. So if I were him, just be patient. You know you got laps. You're probably going to get another caution. You just see some of these guys super loose off turn 4, heading into turns 1 and 2 now. Like you just saw the number 29 machine there of Tommy Schaefer, who's the first truck 1 lap down. Tyler's just got to really run that bottom. Be patient. He knows he has a fast truck. And I guarantee you, though, Jeremy, in no time, he'll be up towards the front here by the end of this race.
Yeah, as he gets toward a little bit of faster trucks, only time will tell if we can make it back. We're currently on lap 70 of 125. That means we have 55 laps to go at the line, as Ryan Chapman's still holding a just over a half a second lead over the 19 of Richie Coy. I see that middle groove is almost worn completely thin, so now this is just the battle of racing the track so much. You see a little contact. Looks like that white truck kept slapping the wall. That's the 32 there. He's been hitting that wall quite a few times over the course. That's Randy Henshaw. Just has no grip, goes to the top because that's the only loose dirt section where the cushion's at, but it's still not containing that truck as he is still just searching as he makes contact once again. You're looking at Duranco now, right behind the number 11 of Tony Solari. Really just super close. I think they made some contact that time, but the 11 did not seem to move around that much, thankfully, as he's going to try to do a slide job potentially through the corner. Yep, he tries it. Just the 11 carries so much speed using that cushion, unable to make the pass this time.
Yeah, Duranco did a good job by lifting that time by. I was going to say, that 11 car is holding him up there, up on the top side of the racetrack. He needs to kind of search around, find other grooves. Maybe the 11 of Tony Solari with running up on that cushion, Jeremy, like you talked about, could get into the wall. Almost some close racing right there. You see all the dirt being kicked up out of the rear of these trucks. And now the 2, he's going to try to go back to the top, switches back down to the bottom, hopes that the 11 of Solari will get into the wall. But Tony's been doing a great job here tonight. Again, Monday night's Cup Series winner at Richmond, doing a fantastic job here. As you see the 2 closes up on the top. If Duranco can just get by the 11, or maybe the 11 slips up and gives Duranco that top side, I think Allen could probably fly by Solari. He's going to try the slide job almost here. Off turn number 4, not enough. They're still side by side, this time by at the line for the 3rd and 4th spot.
I love that slide job there by the 2. He didn't slide job in front of the 11, but he did slide right into that middle groove, which still is kind of existent there. It's not completely thinned out just yet. So he's able to get a good corner exit by hitting it just on the right rear tire. Tries again this time. Looks like the 17 of Steve Loomis is going to prevent a little bit of a roadblock situation. And they get around him 3 wide pretty cleanly. But the 2 of Duranco is able to get the nose clear. Nope, he had to keep it down in the middle of the track. But I think this time around through 3 and 4, Duranco is going to hold off Tony Solari, makes that pass happen. Now he's got to focus on a couple of these trucks in front of him before he gets to the race leader. So good job by Duranco. Now resumes on the top. Going to make the 11 work for it, which I don't think that's going to be a thing as they go off into turn 3.
Yeah, Duranco was really working that 11, Jeremy, like we had just talked about, for laps and laps of time. And all it took was that number 17 of Steve Loomis to play a factor. The 11 couldn't run the very top on entry heading into turn 1 like he could. Slid up, tank slapped the wall in the center of 1 and 2, enabled the 2 to kind of get a little bit more clear out in front of the bottom through the slide job. The 11 finally gave it to him. Then you saw the 11 Solari try to work the bottom. Not enough. So I'm glad I was right on something right there, because Duranco obviously way better up on the top side of the racetrack than Tony Solari was. But look at this. Tyler Brown all the way up to 6, currently 6.8 seconds back to the leader from what it looks like 2.3 seconds back to 5th place Stephen Hollingsworth. So he's on the brink of getting up into the top 5. And you can see Hollingsworth is in reach along with Tony Solari. So he is getting there Just going to take a little bit of patience. But Ryan Chapman now has pulled out to a 2 3/4 lead over Richie Coy. He's loving what he's seeing. And I tell you what, Jeremy, there is no better feeling here at Bristol Dirt than knowing you got no competition around you. All it is lap trucks to pass, and you got clean runs coming out of you, in front of the windshield.
Clean, taking that word lightly around dirt, but we are going to kick it over to picture-in-picture commercial break here as we got just under 40 laps remaining in this event. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you guys after a few messages. And back to full screen action here from Nerd TV as we are currently on lap 92 of scheduled 125 here at the Bristol Dirt 125 with the FTSR guys. And right now, Alan Doranko, you've been watching them during our commercial break, passing the 19 of Richie Coy. That is for the second place position. Only 2.5 now back of the race leader, Ryan Chapman, which we see Diane Chapman on the chat saying, awesome, Ryan, keep up the good driving. Right now, he is doing an excellent job. And actually gained a half a second on Ryan that lap alone. So Alan Doranko making a tear. And Jason, I don't know if you follow F1 much, but that Tyler Brown pit call where he's the only leader to really pit, I'm going to reference the Ferrari team strategy from 2022. Every time they had a good strategy, they came in and put the wrong set of tires on and ruined their race. I'm going to say that's a very similar call for the 00 camp to put the tires on or fill up the truck when nobody else did, and it has ruined his race. Your dominant leader, Tyler Brown, early on, 7.5 back, currently running in 6th place, unable to make any ground up and continues to drop back. But Alan Doranko, I just looked at it one more time. He already gained a full second in the past 2 laps. This guy's going to be at your race leader momentarily.
Yeah, he very well could. Alan Doranko's been maintaining this lap traffic way better than Ryan Chapman has. And, I mean, that last time around, Alan Duranko, 10th slower than Ryan Chapman, but Chap's got to get around all these guys, man. I mean, there's just so much lap. Look at all the lap traffic in front of Ryan Chapman. He must have an absolute headache as we ride on board the roof cam. And look at that. That's 4 trucks practically under a blanket. You got the one guy who caused the last caution. You got another one there who's got a beat-up truck. He's got to be very careful navigating. And look at this. Alan Duranko, 0.7 of a second. It's down to 0.6 of a second. Here he comes. Look at the back end of the truck. Duranko with a head of steam coming towards the front, ripping the top side, tank slap of the wall here off too. I think Duranko's going to get him here in just a couple of laps, Jeremy.
The 27, Ryan Chapman, made a terrible call to stay behind the 23, entering 3 and 4 that last lap. And here we go, Alan Duranko to the top. Going to be almost side by side with your race leader, Ryan Chapman, as they head up a couple more lap trucks here of the 18 of McKinney and the 17 of Steve Loomis. They make contact behind them. 3 wide momentarily for all the lap trucks. But Alan Duranko, 2 truck lengths away. I think Ryan Chapman, this is the time he needs to move to the top of the track, because obviously Duranko has so much more speed than the 27 does, who's currently running the middle of the track. And as we talk about it, there's the lane shift. Ryan Chapman to the top. Now Alan Duranko forced to run the middle to try to find any speed to pass him on the bottom, as lap traffic seems to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, Alan Duranko has been really ripping that top side like we've been talking about the last 20 laps. Obviously got around Tony Solari there, but a hard-fought battle for him. Solari all the way back went from 3rd to 5th now. But hey, don't count out Richie Coy. If these two get together and stay side by side for a while, and Coy can navigate that lap traffic, he's only back by a little less than 2 seconds, so he could very well get to him. But if I were Ryan Chapman right now, man, dude, start ripping that top side. Look at Alan Duranko. Look at the amount of ground he gains on him through the center of 1 and 2. He's going to have a big run here off turn number 3. He might have to go to the bottom. No, he'll stick to the top. Oh, but the 2 is up into the wall. He saves it, though. That's the beauty of Bristol dirt. You can bounce right off it. If your truck doesn't hook into it, you could just turn, brake a little bit, and slam the gas. You could just see that, too, of Alan Duranko doing everything he can to get to Ryan Chapman's back bumper. They have Jeff Bratton there, the number 55 machine, in the way. It's going to take the 2's line, and Chapman is trying to set sail away from Alan Duranko here in the closing laps with just 22 to go.
Duranko has just completely torn the right side of that truck off of that chassis, and now he's got maybe a little bit of a handling situation. The 0-2 is no longer at the top. He cannot get any grip these past couple laps, and I was going to mention that it takes a complete different skill set to run the cushion line, because you have to be so gentle at the throttle, so precise up there, because you run inches off that wall, and if you slap it, sometimes it benefits you and it gives you a great corner exit, and other times it gives you wall glue and it really slows you up. But it looks like the 2 of Duranko has abused that truck to the point where I think he's maybe knocked out his toe a little bit. Something's just not right as he is falling back a little bit further. 1.2 now back of your race leader. And this is allowing Richie Coy to bring up a little bit. But at the same token, we got some lap traffic here preventing the 19 from making any gains at the moment, as they're 3 wide right behind the number 2 of Duranko, as we have 20 laps to go.
Yeah, Richie Coy just practically had to run the apron right there. Almost has to do it again as he's trying to pass the 55 of Jeff Bratton there on the bottom side. As Bratton's up on the top now, he enters into turn number 3. But hey, listen, Jeremy, it's not over yet. Alan Duranko may be back by 1.25 seconds, but he still very well could win this race. Look at Chapman. He's still in reach, and the 2 has gotten back up into his rhythm, ripping that cushion up on the top side, not hitting the wall, nothing. Gets a great run, and look at the ground he makes up. 0.5 second practically. Oh, don't overcook it, Ryan. Or not Ryan, Allen, excuse me. He almost could have just had that wall glue like you were talking about, Jeremy. Lost a 10th, almost 2 tenths there. The 2 knows he's faster. I bet you he knows he's faster. The thing is he's got to stop shoving it in there so dang hard up on that top side, as we have a caution. A Roasted Gems Coffee caution flag has come out. This changes everything.
Caution number 4, and did not catch initially what happened on the track here, but yeah, this is going to reset everything. This is going to bring Tyler Brown potentially back into the picture, because he struggled massively getting around some of these trucks for position, and it looks like kicking it back, really slow truck, the 89 of Maxwell Solsch, potentially the one to bring out this caution. On the front stretch here, He just came out of turn 4, and the truck essentially died, went to the bottom, and he did stop and parked it, but it was just enough for the admin officials on the iRacing platform itself to go, you know what? There's a hurt truck there at the bottom. We need to throw the caution, which we know you can't do that. You have to pull down below the apron. You got to do it in pit road. You can't just park on the front stretch to get out your truck, and that's going to change the landscape of this race, like you mentioned. Does the 27, can he get a good restart now over the 2? It brings Richie Coy into the picture. 4th place, Stephen Hollingsworth. He's been holding up pretty well. So we might see some new people here contending for this top 5.
Well, first off, I'm not going to lie. I think Maxwell Solsch probably should have stopped the truck in pit road, like you were saying. I really don't know what he was doing. Practically almost slapped the wall there out of 4 and just decided to just zip right across the racetrack. Thankfully, nobody was coming, and just decided to slam the inside wall and park it. I mean, yes, I know there's no brakes, but come on. You know, be a little smarter. You know how sensitive some of these cautions are, especially here at Bristol Dirt, due to, you know, the iRacing service, knowing that these drivers are going to be losing it a lot, and some guys are going to be much slower than usual, and if you go a certain speed, at a certain angle on some of these racetracks, the cautions will be triggered. I don't believe that was an admin caution flown. I think that was just the iRacing service throwing the yellow, because obviously that is up on the racing surface still. So that is probably why iRacing more than likely did throw the caution. But, I mean, Maxwell Solsch just probably needed to get to pit road there. Unfortunate night for his end after a struggling performance, 37 laps down, 25th. But like we were just talking about, Jeremy, like you mentioned, a lot of these guys are going to have a good restart here. And look who's back up into the picture, Tyler Brown. After you said, the strategy might not play a factor, here he is, going to be restarting in the 5th spot. Going to have to work that bottom, though. He can't rip that top like he's been. You just see him. He's trying to get some dirt on those tires, get a little bit more grip on them, because everywhere where there's grip, that's just going to put some grip on your tires. You see some of these guys really going to the inside, searching for grip, searching for dirt to put on their tires to try to help them progress through this field here when they do get back to the green flag. But I think Tyler Brown's going to be a man on a mission here. He's going to be the one to watch in that I circle here on my clipboard for this restart.
Yeah, he's definitely circled on mine. We know he has the speed, but that extra fuel in the tank that everybody else does not have, I think it's playing dividends not to his favor. I feel like he's going to struggle here, but I know he's got some speed. If he can get a great launch entering the corner, he can at least clear the 11 and the 30, put himself in the top 5, and then maybe go to the top as quick as possible to run that Alan Duranco line where you're just destroying the truck and able to keep the speed. You mentioned it during the pre-race that, you know, aerodynamics is not a thing, and clear as day. The number 2 does not have a right side panel, and he's still running really fast. So here in about, you know, next 10 seconds, we're going to see exactly how this restart is going to prevail as we have 11 laps to go at the line. Green flag is flying. The 27, terrible start. Alan Duranco, exactly what he needed. The whole inside line really had a massive check. A 3-way for the race lead with 30. Hollingsworth, the 2 of Duranco, and the 27 to Chapman, who's come back strong to the bottom of 1 and 2. Little contact midfield, no problem, still going straight. Duranco using the wallop, and here's 19 Richie Coy. Ryan Chapman goes around with Stephen Hollingsworth. 5th caution night presented by Roasted Jim's Coffee. As some of your race leaders are still wrecking. Nick Goebel, one of those guys. And more wrecking happened with the 23 involved halfway down the front stretch. A lot of trucks damaged here. A couple guys in your top 5. And you said it when the last caution came out. This changes everything. And this is exactly what you meant.
Well, cautions breed cautions. We're taking a look here at what happened later on. You see the 27 there. Obviously, everybody's shooting to the bottom. 25 comes up, makes contact with the 14, gets into Kyle Milliken. Obviously, everybody else trying to back it down. Other drivers involved further up the field, heading into turn number 1. But yeah, I mean, just an unfortunate circumstance for those leaders. Ryan Chapman, everybody behind him. Richie Coy, another driver as well. I believe that was the 30 of Stephen Hollingsworth. They just wanted to go to the bottom. Everybody's fighting for every piece of real estate, every single speck of dirt that's left on this racetrack that's not mud or rubber. They are looking for all the grip they can. And unfortunately, you put these guys in a scenario late in the race where there's no grip. Everybody has the opportunity. They know that it's an even playing field, and they just go for it. An unfortunate circumstance to one of the dominant drivers tonight here, Ryan Chapman. You just see him right there, gets turned. Man, oh man. And hey, look at this now. Tyler Brown went from 5th. He's up to 3rd. But but he's definitely going to have to challenge Alan Duranko here on this restart, Jeremy.
He was gifted a few positions for sure. Ryan Chapman went to the corner a little bit hot there through turn 3, and Stephen Hollingsworth, had a great line with Richie Coy. But when you guys are battling with 10 laps to go to get every position possible, sometimes things get a little too crowded in one spot of the track, and 3 people try to aim for the same real estate. Cleaned them out, but Tyler Brown now has a really solid chance. He will be on the bottom side of the track, which is preferred for the opening corner on a restart. We've seen it just that last restart where Chapman lost the race lead to Duranko entering 1, but then by the time he got to turn 2 on an exit, he was back into the race lead. So let's see what the 00 can do with the Tony Solari in the number 11 truck, who did finish 2nd place last year here. So he's no stranger to running in the top late into this run.
Yeah, and Tony Solari, like I keep saying, Monday night's Cup winner, had that late pit strategy call, came in, took tires along with, I know Hedrick, and as well as I believe it was another driver. I can't really remember. I believe it was the 02 machine, but he was able to. It was Mayu. Thank you very much, Dustin, the man in my ear, as always. Love you, brother. The 02 of Mayu, obviously. He came into the picture, and Tony Solari was able to pass the number 15 machine and just kind of drove away, but then started to lose it. Mayu almost got there and was ultimately able to win. So Tony Solari very well could pull this one off tonight. Obviously, he's been in the top 5, hasn't led this race, had his struggles up and down, but now he's being presented with an opportunity. He's going to have 5 laps to try to pass Alan Duranko and defend the rest of the field. But also look at this, Jeremy. Richie Coy, he's going to have the preferred lane up in that second row up on the outside. And Alan Duranko loves where he's starting. The fact that he gets to restart on the outside. Man, oh man, Jeremy, this should be a good restart here and a good finish.
Looking forward to it. We're going to have a 5-lap shootout to get this thing settled away here. Who is going to prevail as your race winner for the only dirt race of the year? What to find out here is the green flag is flying with Duranko with a really large restart here of the 11 of Tony Solari. Not sure what that was all about, but we're early, almost 3 wide here. Tyler Brown trying to make it some gains, but 19 of Richie Coy is going to keep it on the outside of the 00, 3 wide with Lane Allen on the bottom. They go back to 2 wide. Now Tony Solari looking for the race lead.
Yeah, the 00, we're looking at him. Everybody's scrambling for positions, trying to not run into one another. You saw the 00 had to practically run the apron right there. He'll still run the bottom. And here comes Solari, battle for the race lead. He dove it down to the inside of the racetrack. Not enough. Alan Duranko was able to maintain the gap. Look at Solari just diving it down to the corner. If Alan Duranko slips up maybe one more time, if he just makes contact with the wall ever so slightly, he could very well lose this race. 3 laps to go here in Bristol Dirt.
Ryan Chapman once again got door slapped in the middle of 2 and spun out. So Ryan Chapman is going to be the last person on the lead lap. Currently running in 12th place as woes continue for him. But looking at the race lead, Alan Duranko now has about a 10 truck length advantage over the teammates that are running side by side at the moment, being the 11 and the 19. Looks like Richie Coy is going to get around the 11 just enough here off the exit of 2 entering turn 3. Going to try to slide in front of his teammate, cannot do it, and this is everything that Alan Duranko is looking at as we have 2 laps to go at the line, or actually it should be 1 lap to go, excuse me there. Lap 125, he's got all the real estate in the world. Coming through 3 and 4, just has to hit his marks for the final time. Don't slap the wall too hard. Just gives a nice little kiss in your Martin Sports winning moment. Belongs to Alan Duranko. Excellent drive on the top and brings home the checkered flag for the Bristol 125.
What a drive by Alan Duranko. Obviously, having that top. I think the moment where Alan Duranko probably won this race, I'm not going to lie, was when he was able to get past Tony Solari up on that top side, because once he did, he really was able to check out and chase down Ryan Chapman. So that would be my Martin Sports winning moment, besides him crossing the line in first. Richie Coy comes home second. Tony Solari drag races to the line with Stephen Hollingsworth for that 3rd spot. Overall, though, great race here tonight, and there probably isn't a single truck that doesn't have damage here, as Alan Duranko kicks up some dirt and burns it down up on the front straightaway with no smoke because we're on dirt.
Yeah, he's just digging a trench right into the dirt here on the front stretch. Well-deserved win. He beat the thing off the right-hand side of that thing, and the left side looks clean, minus the dirt specks. There's a couple maybe crumpled fenders there on the left rear if I saw it, but the right side's completely gone. And that's going to end his burnouts, and that's going to end the race here. As we're going to go down the unofficial results here for the Bristol 125. Alan DeRocco brings home the checker flag for the first time this season, which I think we've almost had a different winner every single race. I'll have to fact check myself momentarily. Richie Coy is going to bring it home in second. Tony Solari third. Stephen Hollingsworth fourth. Tyler Brown ends up in fifth. Lane Allen sixth place. Justin Diltz up 20 positions to find himself in seventh. Kyle Milliken up 10 spots to find himself in 8th. Nick Goebel 9th. And to round out the top 10, Cody McKinney.
Yeah, and then to round out your top 20, you have Bobby Terrell in the number 4 coming home 11th. Ryan Chapman after a second half of the race dominating performance. Unfortunate for him. Talked about it, Jeremy. Spun out last few laps. He'll come home last car in the lead lap in 12th. Then we start with the cars that are one lap down. Michael Blackner, plus 15 from where he started. 13th tonight, Tommy Schaefer. 14th, Jeff Bratton. 15th, Sylvain Jolly. And 16th, TJ Bartel. 17th, Joshua O'Connor Sr. 18th, Steve Loomis 19th, and Rick Webb rounds out your top 20.
21st, Randy Henshaw. 22nd, Joseph McKinney. 23rd, Steve Angie. 24th, J.P. Burns. 25th, Brody Hanna. 26th, Maxwell Solsch. 27th, Sherwood Williford. 28th place, Colton Gum. 29th, James Torrey, and Brandon Elder, who did not make the start, does round out the 30 truck lineup for tonight. And I did find out that Brody Hanna was your first repeat winner of last week. So 6 different winners, actually 7 different winners amongst 8 races. So pretty diverse set of drivers taking the checker flag this season. But this is going to bring us to our only full page commercial break tonight. We're going to get the top 3 wound up for their post-race interviews. We'll be back with you guys momentarily. And welcome to the Martin Sports Post-Race Show, where we're going to bring you guys the top 3 into the Nerd TV booth to get a word on their thoughts of tonight's Bristol 125. First person to bring in is that number 11 driver, the Menards Ford F-150, Mr. Tony Slidlari. Do you have a copy?
Hey, what's up there, nerds?
Hey, man, I talked to your team briefly before the race, and I said you're going to be the class of field, and Richie took notice of that and won up to you tonight, but still got top 3. Congratulations nonetheless. Recap that night for you tonight.
Well, I didn't have a great queue, and I got a bottom feeder car. The car runs better on the bottom, and I try to get it up top, and it doesn't work as good up top as it should, and just it is what it is. It's not the night I was looking for, but I'll take a third out of it. I mean, there's a lot of shaking up through the field, and yeah, I mean, Richie's using my setup, so we were practicing with that. So hey, if he kept it in the family, that's cool.
Hey, Tony, man, good job, though, this week. You got a first on Monday. You got a third here tonight at Bristol Dirt, man. I ran these things yesterday night, man, and it was a handful, 90 laps on the fixed setup. That was a handful, man. How did you feel tonight in your sim rig, ripping some dirt for 125 laps, my friend?
I love the dirt, so I don't need to do even too much of it in lobby. I don't know, just many years of settled course of drifting. I got kind of a knack for it. I enjoy it. You don't have to worry about tires, which is kind of a nice bonus. And yeah, I wish all the tracks had dirt on them, to be honest. But It is what it is. I'm kind of the dirt guy in our little group, and Richie's no slouch either. And Brody unfortunately had some early incident and kind of took him out. But yeah, we're feeling pretty strong tonight.
Yeah, I would say so. Brody definitely had multiple incidents throughout the field, kind of clogged him back to the rear. And yeah, you do it on the VR headset too. I've not tried dirt on VR. I'm sure it's an experience all by itself, but all that drifting is coming to you, and you're on a little roll here. You won on Monday. You got a top 3 here tonight. So just hopefully you continue that momentum and finish out this season strong. But the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday, and think again of mom and dad, and I know they're probably out there in Vegas watching, and thanks to the team and Brody, Richie, and Bobby, and yeah, thanks to you guys, thanks to the league, thanks to all the competitors that actually showed up tonight. I know it's not everybody's forte, and a little bit more cautious than we wanted, but yeah, it was a good deal. Thanks to all you guys out there.
Yeah, man, appreciate it, and have a good rest of your night. And we'll catch you on Monday for the cup race here.
Sounds good. We'll see you then. Thanks.
All right, man. And that was our third place finisher, Mr. Tony Solari. And now we're going to bring in second place here. Tony's teammate, Richie Coy, driver of the 19 Ford F-150. Do you have a copy?
What's up, nerds?
Having a ball up here watching this dirt race. And I just mentioned to Tony, too. I went to your guys' channel right before, and I said that Tony's the class of the team. And you said, hey. And then here you are, one spot ahead of him being the class tonight. So did I set that momentum for you to outdo your teammates tonight?
No, not really. Except I will tell you, I do when Tony, we had that last restart going down the backstretch, that did pop into my mind that Jeremy said, and maybe gave me a little extra motivation on that last restart. Man, I felt like Max Verstappen out there with my restarts. Holy cow, did they suck?
Especially from last week, right?
What's that?
No kidding. Yeah, he had not a good time there in Australia.
No, my restarts tonight, I kept the first one, I started second gear and it didn't work. And then I was trying third and it wouldn't shift to fourth. And finally in the last two, I finally got it to shift right. But man, I lost so many spots on these restarts tonight.
Yeah, Richie, you did a good job though, man. Coming home second. I want to say I really thought that Tyler was going to kind of run away with this, but then with the amount of cautions and then him pitting, when you guys in your team, you guys saw how good Tyler was early on in the beginning before all those cautions really started playing a factor, then he pitted. Did you really think Tyler was going to be the guy to beat here tonight, or did you guys have everybody else in mind?
Nah, it didn't score us at all. We were set up for the track in the end of the race. I knew I was going to be tight in the beginning of the race, so if he wanted to go out and wear his stuff up front, I was like, go for it, man. I just wanted to get through traffic and get through into the second half of the race when I knew my truck was going to come in.
Well, you did a pretty good job overall tonight. I think you're one of the cleanest guys up front. Everybody else was just beating and banging, and especially your race winner, who was just all over that outside wall, getting every inch of the track possible. So clean drive out there tonight. You're going to capitalize on Ryan Chapman's late woes. He was 26 points ahead of you entering tonight. And you're probably going to be within 10 points after this thing's all said and done. So just congratulations. Floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Before I thank anybody, I don't really know what happened. I just went back and kind of looked at a replay of that Ryan Chapman deal with the 30 there. And when I went in that corner, the only thing I could see was the 30 sideways. I couldn't even see Ryan. So I guess he might have slowed up a little bit or got a little too sideways. And the next thing I know, the 30 was backing up to me, and I kind of got into the side of the 30, and it looks like that popped into to Ryan. So, I apologize for that. Obviously, I had no idea that was going on because I couldn't see him, and totally accident right there. So, sucks for him. He had a great race tonight going. But thanks to my teammate, Tony. Tony's set up in the car tonight, although I did make a change for qualifying, and he got on me about that, and we see who got the pole. But yeah, it was thanks for him for his hard work on the dirt setup here. Thanks to Fury Motorsports, Bobby and Brody. Thanks to you guys. Can't wait to watch it back. Should be a pretty entertaining race. And thanks to the league and everybody who watches.
Appreciate all the kind words, dude. And go and have a good rest of your night. And we'll catch you Monday here on the dirt surface once again.
All right, got to go clean up my shoes here. They're full of mud.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Good luck doing that alone.
All right, good night, guys.
All right, good night. And that was the 19 of the Martin Sports Ford F-150, finishing P2. And now to bring in the last guy, which is going to be in the victory lane here, Mr. Alan Duranco, 7 winners amongst 8 different races. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How's it going, guys?
Going pretty good. You're completing the Ford F-150 trifecta. So Ford definitely dominant here on dirt tonight. And hell of a drive by you. You were one of the few guys to go up to the wall early, and you dug that groove in all by yourself. And I think you destroyed basically the whole right side of that truck. Did anything break on the truck? Because at one point you started falling away from Chapman, and I thought maybe you broke a toe or something. How was that truck handling after a while?
Yeah, actually, it was handling really well, and there was a moment there where I did tap the wall a little too hard, and my steering wheel got knocked a little bit out of sync, and it took me, I would say, 2 or 3 laps to just kind of get back in rhythm with just the new positioning of the steering wheel. And once I was able to do that, I felt comfortable again.
Yeah, I feel that for sure, man. That happened to me when the first year of Bristol Dirt was on iRacing. You'd slap the wall, and next thing you know, the steering's off, but you just got to get used to it. But man, we talked about the Martin Sports winning moment being when you cross the line, but in my opinion, I think the Martin Sports winning moment tonight was probably when you were able to pass Tony Solari, because I believe you guys were running and battling for third. And Tony said that he was a bottom guy, but he was running the top because he knew you were good there. And then you finally were able to get around him after passing a lap truck, and then that enabled you to really gain up a lot on Ryan Chapman. Is that really what you would probably say, at least in my opinion, like I said? Would you think that really benefited you tonight with how the cautions played out, and then you were able to really restart up on that front row there late in the going?
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it. That battle, Tony, man, whew, that was tough. I was sweating after that one. And it was awesome, clean racing. I mentioned that to Tony. I thanked him. That was so much fun to do that. And then yeah, to get in that to get into second then and get clean air, so to speak, I was able to catch up with Ryan. It was too bad that the caution came out because I think I could have maybe gotten Ryan without the caution. And then of course after the caution happened, I think Ryan got in that incident, which put him a little bit further back. But yeah, no, I would totally agree with your assessment there.
Yeah, Jason on the money for sure. I'd have to agree. That'd be one of my most notable moments on the track too, to help you propel yourself to the victory tonight. Floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to first and foremost thank Nerd TV and Full Throttle Sim. You guys put on a great show. Love racing here. Love watching the broadcast. I want to thank Elevated Esports, Flex Motorsports, Artfly, Sim Motion, 213 Simware, RC Gaming. If there's any more that I forget, I apologize. But yeah, it was just awesome night tonight. Finally got the monkey off my back, and looking forward to winning a few more this season, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it as well. And go ahead and celebrate with the team, man. Awesome job tonight, and we'll catch you here next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. And that was the number 2 there of the Sim Seats F-150. And Jason, a little bit of a shorter race tonight because we're on dirt, but didn't disappoint on the action from start to finish. It was just pretty crazy overall. We had 5 cautions, I think, if I recall that right. Not a bad night overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, not a bad night really at all. I mean, there was just a lot of action everywhere we looked, and Dustin did a great job. All the camera angles, all the gyro cams that we had. Oh yeah, we'd like to see it, man. I guess what is this? We call it Shaka Bra, what the surfers call it.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, absolutely. But hey, it was a great race tonight. You know, we obviously, at least me and you, Jeremy, thought earlier on in the beginning of this race that Tyler Brown was really going to get away with this win. He pitted. You said that he only really put fuel in the truck, you believe. Didn't look like he took tires at all. Definitely hurt his momentum. And even Richie said it himself. Man, I wasn't worried about it. We were set up for the long run. I mean, just look at this overhead shot right here. Look at the groove and how much rubber's been laid down. That racetrack almost has no grip left on it, and the only place left is that top side, and it was super hard to run up there on the cushion towards the end of this race, and the guy who did it the best was Ryan Chapman. Said it when he got past Tony Solari. That, my friend, was your Martin Sports winning moment. He was able to run down Ryan Chapman, and then the caution came out, was able to restart up on the top, got past Chapman, Chapman wrecks, And then the rest is history. Great race here tonight. Enjoyed calling it.
Yeah, 100%. And I see Dustin's back on the camera here. Dustin, how you feeling after that little broadcast there?
Hey, I told you they were going to keep me busy, and they did not disappoint whatsoever. I mean, action all over the track, exactly, what all three of us said was going to happen. Three wide racing, slide jobs left and right. I mean, you had some contacts, some cautions, which is common with dirt. Some excellent battles that just lasted lap after lap. Most notable, the one between Solari and Duranco. I mean, it was good racing all around. Exactly what we would expect, and exactly what I'm hoping to see come next week.
Yeah, 100%. And it's going to be even more fun, I think, as the Cup Series will be here this coming Monday. Of course, brought to you by Nerd TV. But we're going to bring this thing to a close. I'm going to thank our sponsors one last time before we do so. Full Throttle Sim Racing. Be a part of the action. FTSR.net. Get signed up. It is well worth your time to explore one of their 4 different series that they run each and every week. Mach 1 Performance, the Cup Series sponsor every single Monday. Race Fabrication Shop that's produced champions from multiple racing divisions. So find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, all-inclusive league points management system. It tracks all your stats with one simple upload of the race export. If you want to make your league look professional, head over to simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See their entire product line at martinsports.gg as Dustin is flexing the jersey, because that's Martin Sports apparel right there. And the
He's
gloves.
decked out, man. Look at him go.
We're all green and black here at the Nerditudes camp here. iRacing iFlag, notifications of fractions of a second faster without ever leaving your focus on the racing action. Find them at iracingiflag.com for their full product lineup. Butt Kicker, ultimate racing feel from the haptic response system. Find them at thebuttkicker.com for a full product line to complete your sim rig. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality professional built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Visit teamwantedracing.com for pricing and packages to get yourself in victory lane. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with Roasted Gems Coffee at roastedgems.com to get a taste. And we'll be back with you guys this coming Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to see the Cup guys do it for probably 150 laps here around this half-mile dirt oval here. So until then, you guys stay safe. Get your nerd on.